13th at 5:30 p.m. To order. Please join me in pledging allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. New business, approval of the June 22nd selectmen meetings to include one set of sealed non-public minutes. I will make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I wasn't here, I'm abstaining.
You're abstaining. Approval of the July 13th consent file. Review and sign manifest in the amount of $8,159.11, $2,441.54, $2,810.90. This is to include payroll and accounts payable for 6/31, 7/6, and 7/13.
I make a motion to approve the July 13th consent file.
Second.
Any discussion? Call to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Review, discuss, and approve a signed representation letter for the 2021 audit. I will make a motion to approve the representation letter for the 2021 audit.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
Call it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Review, discuss, and approve or sign the forest fire report and bill for the fire that happened on June 26th and 27th. I'll make a motion to approve and sign the forest fire report and bill for the fire on June 26th and 27th.
Second.
Discussion.
I guess I do. Is that matched? Is that the National Forest?
It is not the National Forest. It was all Albany.
Okay, all right. I didn't.
Yep, it was up like beside Tin Mountain going towards Buzzy's.
I wasn't sure if
pit.
that other side, but okay.
Apparently it was very steep and very difficult to reach, and there was a point where they couldn't even get to, and they just had to hopefully let it burn out, and that happened.
Well, I know when they're talking of bringing a helicopter in, that we were going to get matching for that. if
Yeah,
Necessary, so I didn't.
yeah. This is, they're gonna get 50% reimbursed.
All forest fire fighting is reimbursed by the state at 50%.
Okay,
That has
I thought
nothing
it
to
was-
do with the US Forest.
okay. I knew
The state stuff, this goes through the forest fire wardens, and we get whatever they get paid, 50% of that, but also like food and,
Okay.
supplies and water, and
I thought it was.
so that's on there too. So.
That's good. Yeah.
And we've already paid for it through our contract with them. So 100% has been paid. The guys have already been paid, the food's been paid for. And then we submit this and the state reimburses them 50% because they're the ones
Guess
that paid it.
Makes me ask another question. If it's already paid for, the contract, does that mean money's sitting there in case it's needed? So at the end of the year, if we didn't have a fire, I don't know how that works.
No.
And how is it in the contract? too?
The contract is the contract.
Here's what I'll say. I honestly don't know how Conway Village Fire budgets. They may have a line item that says forest fire fighting,
Yeah.
and they might have $10,000 in it, and Albany pays 2% of that in their contract. I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But
Well,
he said, whatever it is, it's
Yeah.
part of the contract. They fight fires for us, including forest
Yeah.
fires. So they've already paid the guys and the food, and then, but we, because it was in our town geographically, we have to be the ones that sign off on it, and then we'll get paid, and I will cash those checks and then write them back out to,
all right.
because they didn't charge, because we didn't pay this 100%.
Yeah.
They paid it 100%. And so they get the
I'll
50% reimbursement.
I'll ask when they come in because we're going to be meeting with fire here pretty soon, I would imagine, for the contract.
Yeah, it's written in the contract
Yeah.
that they cover the forestry, which they could have, strictly speaking, they could have carved it out of the contract and then we would be doing this. But then I would have had to write the checks, and,
Yeah.
they've already got these people on payroll, and
Yeah.
so it's just,
smoother.
Yeah.
it
cleaner.
works
Okay.
Yeah, it
All right.
works this way for them, and again, the state reimburses 50% for any town that has a forest
Yeah,
fire.
that's good.
And I'd just like to thank the Conway Village Fire District for taking such good care of Albany, along with the other fire departments who also helped out with this fire. And it's very difficult to fight, from what I understand. And
Yeah.
good job.
No, I agree. Okay.
Any other discussion?
No.
Call to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Town administrator report.
So back, I don't even know how many months ago now, when there was FEMA public assistance COVID money available, you had to say whether you're going to want some or not. And so I signed up for it because I didn't know what our needs were going to be long term. So I did a little bit of inventory, and I have like 2,000 masks. 200. I have 200 masks. I have probably 200 pairs of gloves. We have tons of hand sanitizer. I just don't think this specifically was for COVID-19 like supplies, not like payroll and stuff like that. So I don't think we need anything. So I think we're good letting this go. Like they're just saying, you signed up and said you might have a submission, so we're just circling back to you. I'm going to be she's going to be the contact person. Let us know what you need. If you are still interested in applying, and you have any expenses from 1/20/20 to 7/1/22, 100% cost share period that you would like to submit for reimbursement. But
You can't
the
double
the payroll we lost, we've already submitted. The thermometers we bought, we've already submitted. We got the N95 masks and surgical masks for free from the drop-offs from Homeland Security. So it covers PPE, mask, gloves, diagnostic testing, plexiglass barriers, cleaning and disinfection supplies, temperature screening, and thermometers. And we have all that. I mean, I think we're good in letting it go. And if it's okay with you guys, I'll just tell them we're good. And also because we don't have our own fire, police, or EMS, we're not going through those supplies. Like once in a while we wear masks or somebody will grab disinfectant, but and plus that doesn't even count what they've got for the elections because they get all separate stuff and have plexiglass and so I think we're good. I just wanted to touch base with you guys on that before I said we're fine. Do you think we're okay?
Yeah. I think that's-
The next thing is, so we talked to Rick Sager about doing a possible public auction on our tax deeded property. One is less than the additional 3 years, so we have to give a 90-day notice on that one. One I thought was going to be outside the 90 days, and it will be when it sells, but it wouldn't be when we notice. He suggested that if we want to be outside the 3 years for the one, that we wait and have the auction on Saturday, November 19th, which is the weekend before Thanksgiving. He generally wants either the town administrator or one selectman there just to kind of watch it. He usually does it on a Saturday. I just didn't know we could put this off for another year too, but do we really want to own property if we can get it back on the tax rolls? I'm not opposed to waiting till November 19th to do it. We know we have to send 1 90-day notice. If we can pay him to do 2, whatever you guys think, as long as he has enough lead time to do it properly.
I think that's the most important, is to just do it, make sure
Do
you
it properly.
Do it properly.
Yeah, I think so too. But I didn't know if you had strong feelings about it. I would say we go ahead with the November 19th date and we just make sure we dot our I's and cross our T's. And it's likely that one of those will get redeemed. I think the bowls, like the bowls, will get redeemed.
Yeah.
The other one is the past 3 years, and I think there's been a little bit of interest on that. So, so are you good with kind of sticking with the November 19th?
I'm staying with that.
Okay.
Good with that. I'd
All
rather
right.
do it
I
right.
don't really need a vote. I just wanted to kind of get a poll from you guys, so I'm not going ahead with something you don't.
If someone has to be there, I can probably be there.
Okay.
I'd probably be there too.
Yeah, I don't know if you have to sign anything, but I think that he just likes somebody from the town to put an eyeball on it and
Let's
just
get
say,
close so we can figure it out.
Okay. So I have to circle back to something that I had you guys do, I think on June 8th, and has kind of created a quandary for the tax collector. And I apologize because I should have tracked this and figured this out, but you had a request for an abatement from a person who tried to get a veteran's tax credit. And to refresh your memories, they bought the property on February 1st, 2021. They did not apply for veterans tax credit in 2021. They had gotten it, they lived in Conway before and gotten it there, but Conway's got the all veterans tax credit and we've got the optional. So I told them they had to fill out the form for this year, which the daughter got for the mom, and she filled it out, but she couldn't get the DD 214. So she provided me with the paperwork that she had applied for DD 214 in January of 2022 and never got it till June of 2022. So I thought the fix for this was the Board of Selectmen could do a hardship abatement in an amount equal to the veterans tax credit. Well, the problem is that the property is a mobile home, so it's assessed for less. So the first issue tax bill in 2022 was only $156. And it's unlikely that the second bill, even if it goes up, let's say it's $200, which I think is probably a little high, but let's say it's that, the whole taxes for 2022 will only be $356. And frankly, I don't know what it'll be. It'll be at least 156, but it could be some number because we haven't set a tax rate. So you voted to give a 2022 property tax abatement for $500. The problem is they owe $362 from 2021. She can't apply it to that because your abatement says 2022. She could apply a abatement of $156 to 2022, but then there would be like this credit hanging out there that they're never going to use. And Avatar is like, yeah, you need to go back to the selectmen and ask them how to handle this. So the only fix I can really think of right now is that you vote to terminate this abatement, create a new abatement for the $156 that's been billed, and then I put a tickler in when the second issue tax bill goes out and you abate for exactly the amount of that. And then we explain to the people that we're sorry, but you didn't even apply in 2021. If you had, you would have had your DD 214, you know, if they like, but that's my fix. I don't know if you guys have any other creative. It still gets you what you wanted. You wanted them to have the benefit of the veterans tax credit in 2022. Their taxes are less than $500, so they still get made whole on 2022's taxes by December, but you don't cover 2021's. I don't know if you think that's fair or not, but that's the only way I can really think of to fix it.
That's legal.
And make it work in our software. So what do you think of that?
Want to make a motion to rescind the vote to abate the $500?
Yeah, I've never rescinded an abatement. I don't like.
It's a vote.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can do that.
So if I make a motion to rescind the vote of the abatement on
June 8th.
3 lot.
Should it only be you and Kelly voting? Because you signed?
Or is that the meeting you weren't at?
Well, no, I was here June 8th. I don't know why I didn't sign it, but I don't, does that make a difference if my signature's not on it?
I don't know. I don't honestly know. I mean, it's a separate, it's a separate issue. So you get to, you're a selectman, you certainly have standing to vote on terminating this. And frankly, I think it's more important that I think the ones that matter is you two, because you two did sign it. As long as you two vote, I don't think it matters whether you vote or not. But if you have a strong, I mean, again, you're a selectman in standing, so you have
I'm going
the
with whatever
authority
you're suggesting, so I think that sounds good.
So KG motion to rescind June 8th abatement.
Map 3, lot 61, sublot 19, in the amount of $500.
And you're gonna second, Kelly?
I second.
Discussion,
All the discussion we already had.
call to a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 And then I took the liberty of doing an abatement and just leaving blanks. So are you okay with it's still the 2022 tax levy and it'll be for $156.
I'll make a motion to grant an abatement from the 2022 tax levy in the amount of $157, $56 on map 3, lot 61, sublot 19.
And I'll write them a letter explaining what happened, because I think I already told them that it had passed and this is how you were gonna handle it. And so they should understand that 2021's taxes are still outstanding.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 And I will start an abatement for December and just fill it in when we get a tax rate,
Okay.
so that I'll even agenda it just so I don't forget to do it before. So that is that. And I'm sorry for the confusion. I should have picked up on that. Sometimes I don't follow it to its natural conclusion. I just wanted to update you on some land use complaints. If you remember at the last meeting, we had a written complaint about 170 Chase Hill and was it 30 Stowell. So I wrote them certified letters to both of them. I heard from both of those owners via phone. And one has sent me a letter, one is going to send me a letter. So the one that we heard from, all she did was deck boards, and when she started to take the deck boards, they found out some were rotten underneath. So they did change some timbering of it, which was structural. But like Peter said, if that went to court, we wouldn't win because it's a safety issue. They didn't change the footprint of the deck. They changed some siding up the side because that was rotten too when they got towards the house and where the deck tied in. So I said, strictly speaking, it wound up being structural after the fact. I said, you could do a permit because the neighbor is complaining about it. And I talked to Peter about it and he said, I wouldn't require her, but if she wants to do it, I'll waive my fee and she just pays the $42 and she'll have an after the fact permit, which is what you guys signed tonight. And she says she absolutely did not change the footprint. They replaced the rotten boards on the deck and siding in kind. So, and then the other one was some window sills and some siding as well, nothing structural. And I talked to her on the phone, and she is going to put that in writing to us to close that loop. So if the resident that complained wants to see that, we'll have the file complete. So I think that closes those out.
Okay.
I'm not going to respond again I told her we wrote letters, but I'm not going to respond again unless she has more
Do
questions.
you want a motion to approve that?
I think so because it wasn't part of the consent file.
I'll make a motion to approve the building permit application for map, was it 9?
Map 9, lot 101.
Lot 101.
Second.
Any discussion? Call to a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 And that's it, Kelly?
I did just have one person, I got an email about a ticket. It's a $250 camping and fire ticket. He said he will send $100 right away, but it says on the bottom of the ticket within 5 days, and he has to wait till he gets paid again. He's only 18 years old. He doesn't make enough to pay it all off in one. I don't think it requires a formal payment plan, but I will send the sheriff a copy of his email and just say the Board of Selectmen are fine with waiting a couple weeks, but if we don't see it,
Yep.
you know, and I'll make a note when we get the $100 and tell the sheriff, and then if we don't see the rest of it and within the month, then he'll pursue it, like, because I send him the spreadsheet
Yep.
every few weeks, and
Yep.
there were quite a few camping and alcohol tickets over 4th of July weekend, and then right up until last weekend, I guess a lot of people have been camping.
Yeah.
I guess they just pull over and camp anywhere.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm kind of it.
So I did want to let you know, I didn't really make a payment plan with them, but we're kind of on it.
I'm fine with that.
Sometimes they don't
Fine
pay,
with that.
sometimes they don't pay for a few weeks, like 5 days is kind of,
Yeah.
although Monday when I came in, there were 2 tickets in there with $250 in cash.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
they
was
paid it on their way
$500
out of town.
Yeah, they just shoved, but I don't think I shoved $250 in an envelope and
They do.
put it in the mail. That's pretty brave. That's all I had.
Okay, well, we're gonna put off the appointment for 6 o'clock because there's only 10 of, and we'll just continue on and hopefully finish our regular business meeting before we are presented with the bench from the Conway Area Lions Club. So we'll move on to old business and the Chapel Historical Society. The questions are answered and now it's in his hands. And the Federal Land Access Program, nothing new there. We'll move on to other business, the planning board. Our meeting was canceled this week for lack of agenda. The Carroll County Broadband Committee reviewed, discussed, and signed the letter of support for New Hampshire Electric Cooperative to apply for federal funding to provide fiber optic high-speed internet service to Albany.
So did you see those in here?
I did see that, and I agree to it. Whether we get it or not, we should give them our support.
Yeah, there was one for Consolidated, and then there was one for New Hampshire Electric Co-op. So must be they're making that ARPA money, some
Yeah.
ARPA money available for that. So maybe I hear good things. I heard that I think it might be New Hampshire Electric Co-op is looking at putting it in Wanalancet. So
Oh, well,
maybe they're
that'll be interesting.
coming. I don't know.
That'll be interesting.
So you guys didn't sign that, Kelly and Jen on that one. And Jen didn't sign this one. And then I'll send them out, but I'll also send them to Rick Highland because he's kind of shepherding that
Sure.
I
as
signed
well.
the back of that.
I thought I signed it too.
You sign this one.
Oh, because it looks.
There were
Yeah.
2, sorry. It's always sneaky when it's on the back. I stick the sticker on the back, but then it's a trick. Great.
All right. Any other business?
I wish I could.
Nothing. Nothing.
Everything's good.
Well, I would like to follow up with our non-public session of the taxpayer who agreed to pay his principal amount, and basically we promised we would forgive the rest of the interest and penalty. After receiving the activity report, the abatement would be for $915.98. He did come in and pay as he said he would. I think as a board, I made that promise and I will stand by it. I will make a motion to approve an abatement for 2013 for $300.38.
2013.
$300.38.
Okay.
2015
Okay.
for $299.61.
Okay.
2016 for $315.99. The total for that is $915.98, and that's for map 3, lot 61, sublot 37.
Okay.
we have a second?
Second for discussion.
I'm,
You weren't.
I wasn't here, so
No.
I'm gonna abstain from.
Okay.
I
voting.
too agreed with this arrangement. There was money in our hand that we didn't have before this. I felt it was good to take the money. I think we're gonna get another shot at this down the road, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
it was a
I
decision we made.
I agree.
So I do second.
Okay. Any further discussion?
I just want to say what I said, I think in an email to you. I'm concerned because we have a written policy. This individual breached 12 times. We had another individual that only breached 4 times and we did not abate anything for them. And I think that that is problematic.
I understand that completely. I agree with Kelly. I think this will be in our laps again in another couple of years. I agree, yes, we have a policy and we should be sticking by that and we, maybe setting a precedent here. However, I believe it was the only possibility for this person to keep his.
When mention of an infant, it just, I might have been crying me a river, but it just felt like he needed help. And not so much for him, but I don't know, we
That's
did,
not my reasoning, but.
we made a decision. And, we'll see what comes down the road.
All right, so I hand filled that in. I'm gonna write the years on this just so the
Okay.
tax collector has it, but I did the full 950, 98.
And if you could put a sticky on it, it's a beginning balance abatement, not an ending balance abatement, because that would wipe off everything.
Sounds like
Our benches
the
arrived.
bench is out
You're
there.
almost ready.
Oh, is it inside?
I think so.
So that,
I
that'll
hear
take care
some
of that.
people talking out there.
Did I call it to a vote?
No.
I'll call it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You're gonna abstain.
So it's 201.
All right.
Just have to post on it, so we should be all set.
Review, discuss letter from John Slack regarding the gypsy moth problem on Passa Conway Road. Apparently, it's Passa Conway Road, it's all of Albany, it's all of Conway, it's all of North Conway, and
I would love to make a motion to ask the gypsy moths to leave.
I would too.
It's
I
not
will,
gypsy
don't
moss,
think
though,
it'll-
it's something else.
Spongy.
Spongy.
And
yeah,
apparently.
Acknowledged.
Acknowledged, yeah.
Yeah,
that's about all we can do,
And I
acknowledge.
feel for
and
it.
stopping traffic would be
Yeah, I
nice
feel
too.
for 'em.
Sure,
Stopping the traffic, yes.
stop eating leaves.
Put the gate up.
Review and discuss a potential and regional impact notice from the town of Conway, proposed subdivision on Eagles Way and Eastman Road, which will have a bank, 17 residential dwellings, a daycare, assisted care services building, medical building, community building, and 225 unit subdivision. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Acknowledged.
Yeah.
Review and discuss email from Eversource with offer to meet with the board to discuss recent vegetation management scorecard. I don't really have an opinion on this.
I guess I don't understand what their motive is.
They're just, they're government offices offering to reach out and tell you what they've done in town, trees they've cut, wires they've cleared, things like that. I don't think it's a problem right now for us. They've
I
been
don't think so
very
either.
responsive.
Yeah.
So I think we thank them for now but
I would too.
if our bill quadrupled, we
Yeah,
want to have a different conversation.
I agree.
After
Exactly.
what I've seen in the press, I'm like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
but we might want to talk to you
Yeah.
about this
Right.
one on our
Yeah.
bill when we see
right.
Yeah.
what the future holds.
Yep.
But that's my take on it.
I agree.
I don't think we have,
They're great.
We've
They're
been-
great to
we've
work
been
with.
very lucky that, like, when we have a power outage, they tell us, they send me emails about, it should be back by 6 o'clock tonight. in almost every case,
Yep.
it's a little bit earlier than what they
I agree.
proposed, so
Yep.
you gotta, be pretty happy
Public
about that.
comments from the public.
The public has nothing to say.
Oh, she's quiet. Not a public session, is necessary, none needed tonight.
Nope.
Our next meeting will be July 27th, at 5:30 PM at the Albany Town Hall.
And just for a heads up, Steve Solomon is coming
For that meeting.
about the
27th.
negotiation. Yeah, he's on
Okay.
the agenda.
Okay,
We reached out to him and that was a meeting he could make, so I've already agended him and I'm gonna remind him, so.
okay.
I told him if he had anything he wanted you to peruse before the meeting,
Yeah,
to
great.
try to get it out to us.
If I can get a hold of him sometime in Conway in the next couple of weeks, I'll.
Yeah, just so it's not a huge, it's hard to sit in front of it and go, what?
Yeah.
But be ready to be shocked, because he
Yeah.
has said everything. Gas is up,
Oh, I know.
supplies are up,
It's incredible.
vehicles are up,
Yeah.
staffing is up because he's gotta cover a lot of things with overtime because he's short-staffed, so.
Right. Everybody else.
Alarming.
All right, we are not ending our meeting yet, but we are gonna move out into the hallway to be presented with our bench from the Conway Area Lions Club. So unfortunately, our video will end at this time. And we will be adjourning after we were presented with the bench.
I'll just keep the live stream and get that, just the regular camera.
If you want to.
So I'll
It's up to you.
adjourn.
Yeah.
It's up to you, okay? Thank you.